I'm going to show you how to create different looking curls and waves using the heated rollers. So we've already learned how to do a traditional wind, which you'll see on our roller setting tutorial. And that's a great way to curl the hair when you're working with short or medium length hair. But if you're working with longer hair, what generally tends to happen if you use the traditional wind, and I'm just going to show you now with a cold roller just so I can show you what I mean. What we do with the traditional wind, if you remember, is you take the roller to the end of the hair and then you roll the roller down the hair. And what happens if you're working with long hair is, by the time you get sort of down here, the hair is just going on top of other hair. There'll be a nice curl at the end of the hair, but not very much curl at the top because there isn't enough heat getting through to the hair, especially if you're working with long, thick hair. I'm going to show you these two different techniques that will mean that you'll get a much better curl when you're working with long hair. So first of all, I'm going to show you how to do a reverse wind. So you're going to get your roller section, which is the same as our regular roller section. And here I've just used the basic roller set for the rest of the hair. So we're still using our roller setting pattern, so that doesn't change. It's just the way you're going to wrap the hair around the roller that will change. So create your section of hair here. Now, as you might have noticed on our roller setting tutorial, I tend to like to use my back combing comb to create my sections. You can always try using your tail comb if you prefer, but I just find I get a little bit more control when I use my back combing comb. So I've created my section and I'm going to spray the hair. Quite well. So the first technique I'm going to show you is the reverse wind. Using a medium-sized roller, instead of taking the roller to the end of the hair, you need to bring the roller down the hair length a little bit. And then what you need to do, you need to take the hair over to the side of the roller. So if you start in the middle of the roller, what we're going to do, we're going to be wrapping the hair around the roller like this. So pretty soon, if you start off in the middle, you're going to run out of roller to wrap the hair around. So take the roller, quite narrow, but over to the side of the roller. So if you're left, I'm right-handed, so it's coming over to this side. But if you're left-handed, you probably start with the hair over on that side. So the rollers are hot. So I'm just going to wrap around once and then just hold the roller with my fingers, like that, using the hair. And then with this time, we're going to wrap the hair around the roller. But you need to keep the hair flat on the roller. So make sure you keep the hair flat. So you don't want any twists or turns, just keep the hair flat. You wrap the hair around the roller, and as you start to get to the end of the hair, what we don't want, now Olga's got a little bit of a long section of hair here, what we don't want to happen is when we roll the roller up the hair, we don't want these straight bits to stick out like that, because otherwise we'll get a lovely curl and then a horrible straight bit at the end. So in order to avoid that, as you get to the end of the hair, you take the hair slightly over to the centre a little bit, so that as you roll the roller down the hair, the ends of the hair kind of get tucked underneath this top section of hair. And you're going to hold it with a little bit of tension. So you might want to give it an extra little twist. It might feel a little bit tight, but as soon as you put the roller clip in and let go, that little bit of tension will ease off the hair. So I'll show you that one again. So I'm going to get a roller section like that. You could use a hairspray, or you could use a little bit of setting lotion. Sometimes what I do, if I do a trial run, I might try a little bit of hair, using a little bit of hairspray on some sections, and use some setting lotion on others if I'm working with long, thick hair, and just see which one works best. So with the reverse one, you take the hair, remember to take the hair over to the side of the roller. Again, don't start in the middle, because you don't want to run out of roller. We want as much roller as we can. And try and keep this section quite narrow here. Just wrap the hair around the roller. And then you're going to continue coiling the hair around the roller. Keeping a nice little bit of tension on there. So you wrap the hair, and then as you get to the end of the hair, now she's got a few little layers in, you can see here, so I'm going to take that hair over, start taking it over to the middle, smooth those ends down, and roll the roller up the hair. Remember to get the angle of your hair correct, so keep the hair lifted. So we're going to make sure that the roller, when we've rolled the roller down the hair, the roller sits in the right position. So we're going to wrap the hair without any twists in the hair. Keep the hair nice and flat on the roller so you don't want any twists. So wrap the hair around the roller, and as you get to the end, you're going to bring that into the center and roll the roller down the hair. I'm going to do all this side with the reverse wind, and then on the other side I'm going to show you the reverse wind with a twist. So a little bit of setting lotion. Now I'm going to show you the same curl but with a smaller roller, so when we take them out you can see the difference in the curl. So again, start off with the roller quite close to the head. You don't want to be too close because you've got to make sure you can get your hand underneath there. Start a little bit and keep the roller, the hair to the edge of the roller. And you're just going to wrap around once first of all, like that. And then you just keep wrapping that section of hair just around the roller. But remember to keep the hair nice and flat on the roller. And as you start to get to the end of the hair, remember we don't want these ends sticking out. So we need to bring the hair over to the centre a little bit. So as we roll the roller down the hair, those ends tuck underneath this top section. Got one more left to do here. So another little bit of setting lotion. And do again. So over to the side and wrap the hair around, keeping the hair flat on the roller. And you also want to keep a little bit of tension on this hair, so don't let it go all loose. Bring the end of the hair over to the centre a little bit and roll the roller up the hair. Pop your clip in. Okay, so that's your reverse wind. Now we'll do a reverse wind with a twist. So again, I'm still using my regular roller set. And I'll go back to using a few medium-sized rollers, so when I take them out, you can see the difference between the two curls. The next one we're going to do is a reverse wind with a twist. So again, take the hair over to the side of the roller, and this time what you need to do, you're going to keep your thumb flat on the hair and smooth the hair down and around the roller, and then as you come back up, imagine I've got a watch on, so I'm going to look at my watch and then I'm going to turn my hand around and look at my wrist, and then I need to smooth the hair flat again and go all the way around, and as long as I keep my thumb flat on the roller smoothing the hair around, and I come back up, I'm looking at my watch, I turn my hand around and I look at my wrist, and I smooth the hair again. Then I've not really got enough to do another twist, so I'm going to, at the end of the hair, I need to bring it slightly over to the middle again and roll the roller down the hair. Let me just take that a little bit more over to the middle, because otherwise I'm in danger of the end sticking out. That's it. So take the end of the hair over towards the middle of the roller. That's it. And then put the clip in to hold it in place. So I'll do another one here for you. So over to the side of the roller again, smooth the hair, keeping your thumb on the hair, so your thumb smooths along the roller. So as you come up, you're looking at your wrist, and you twist your hand around and look at your pulse, and then you smooth the hair again. You come up, and as long as you're keeping your thumb on the hair, you don't need to put lots of twists in the hair. You look at your wrist, turn around, look at your pulse, and then you smooth again. So the key thing is you're going to put this little twist and it just changes the direction of the hair, and it's going to give us a little wave in the hair. So I'm smoothing the hair, come up, and as I get to the end of the hair, I need to bring it over to the middle and then, whoops, that's it. And roll the roller down the hair, making sure that the end of the hair is caught underneath this top little section of hair here. And this time let's try a little bit of setting lotion on the hair. You don't want to make the hair too wet. If you do accidentally spray a bit too much setting lotion on, just let the hair dry just a little bit. So you're going to take the hair over to the side of the roller and keep your thumb kind of smooth onto the hair like this. So as you smooth your hair around, you almost don't need to look at the roller. You could just be looking at your wrist. Take the hair over to the side of the roller. So wrap the hair around. Look at your watch, turn your hand around, look at your pulse, and go flat again. Olga's got some little short layers cut in the hair there, so that's why they're sticking up a little bit there. But let's see if we can catch them underneath this section of hair. So now I might do a few with some small rollers, so you can see the difference in the curl. Let's try a bit of hairspray this time. The same thing again, get the roller to the edge of the hair. Smooth that down with your thumb. Look at your wrist, turn around, look at your pulse and go flat again. Look at your watch, look at your pulse and go flat again. So really the hair should all be smooth underneath. You just got one little twist at the same place, just at regular intervals on the hair as it wraps around the roller. Bring the end of the hair over to the middle so it doesn't stick out. And roll the roller down the hair. So if you're doing a trial run for somebody and she wants to have her hair down, I like to use my heated rollers, so I'll be using my heated rollers probably, depending on the hair type. But sometimes I find on the trial, I always try it with the heated rollers, and then if it works, if it curls the hair properly, then I know I can use them on the wedding day. But usually what I would do, I will set half of the hair with a reverse wind, and then I'll do the other half of the hair with a reverse wind with a twist. And I'll just see which curl she prefers. So over to the side, watch and pulse. All the way around, and bring the centre over to the middle, bring the end of the hair over to the centre a little bit, and roll the roller down the hair. It can be tricky if they've got little layers cut in, as you can see, these little layers keep wanting to come out, so I might have to go over that and just do that one again. Let's see if that holds a bit better. And let me do this one again. So if the ends start to stick out, don't worry. Just go over it again. Just try and do it again. It's worth just persevering with this, because ideally you want those ends to be tucked in. It can be difficult if she's got layers cut in, but just give it a go. And you're going to finish off the hair. So once you've worked out which curl your bride prefers, here we go again. Look at my watch, turn around, look at my pulse. Smooth the hair around the roller and get the twist in again. It's almost better to look at your wrist rather than the actual roller. So once you've worked out what curl your lady wants, which one she prefers and which one lasts best in her hair, you would make a note of that in your wedding planner so that you know exactly what you're doing on the wedding day. She's got a few layers cut into the hair here, so I'm going to try and do it maybe in one, because the hair's a little bit fine here. Over to the side. You can always take photographs when you do a trial, but I find it much better to write everything down and take notes of everything I've done. That's really, photographs are good, but they only show the end result. And what you really need to know when you've done a trial is how you've achieved that style. That's why I like to, once I know what I'm going to do, I like to write everything down so I have a detailed record. We're going to see which works best on Olga's hair. So we've got our reverse wind with a twist on this half of the head and our reverse wind on this side. I've used some medium-sized roller and some small rollers, so we'll see how they look when it all comes out. So we're just going to let that cool down, but what we mustn't forget is just remember to always turn this clip around at the front so Olga doesn't end up with a mark on her forehead. So let's let those cool down and then we'll come back and have a look, maybe in about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So the curls have had time to cool down, so let's take the rollers out and see what our curls are looking like. So this is our reverse wind curl, so it's a lovely little kind of corkscrew looking curl. You can smooth a little bit of curl cream on it if the hair's a little bit flyaway. That's it. So this is our reverse wind. And these are on the small rollers. So I think it probably wants to go that way. So just play with the curls a little bit. So those are the reverse wind with the small roller. Let's have a look at the reverse wind with a twist on the small rollers. So you can see how it's very different to the reverse wind. So this gives more of a wave effect to the hair. You can see I'm also sort of working with the hair slightly differently. So on this side with the reverse wind, you're always trying to work with the curl that you have. So on this side, I'm kind of working the curl around my finger. That's more of a corkscrew curl. And this one I want to kind of smooth it down a little bit, so I'm enhancing that wave shape. A little bit more curl cream if the hair's a bit flyaway. So you can see actually with the medium size roller, you get a kind of softer, looser wave than with the small roller. So it really depends on the kind of look you're going for. So you might see it a little bit clearer here because they're right next to each other. So this is the small roller. And you can see how it's just a little bit curlier than the medium size roller. A little bit kind of wavier, I would say. So now let's look at the corkscrew curl on this side. So this is the reverse wind with a medium roller. So again, work that hair slightly differently. You're going to work that hair around your finger. So it's a slightly bigger curl than the smaller roller. So what I would do if I were doing a trial run, if my bride wants to have her hair down, then I will create these two different curls at the back. And I'll show, before I start to create any styles, I'll just show her the hair at the back so she can see that in the mirror, and then she can decide whether she prefers a wave to the hair or does she prefer a curl. So her first decision, before she even starts to decide whether she's going to have their hair up or down, her first decision is which curl she likes best, the wave or the corkscrew curl. So this one is the reverse wind, and on this side we have the reverse wind with a twist. It might also be worth practicing, maybe on your practice head. You could try doing a traditional wind on your longer haired head, just so you can see what the curl looks like. But normally what you get when you do a traditional wind on long hair is you get a nice bouncy curl at the end of the hair, but then it's kind of straighter at the top. So when you curl the hair, the curls always make the hair look a little bit shorter, so you can see how much shorter the hair looks when you use the reverse wind to when you use the reverse wind with a twist, because the hair is actually both the same length, but you can see how much shorter it looks on this side. So if your bride did prefer the more corkscrew looking curl, but she wants to keep the length of the hair, then perhaps what I would suggest would be to do a traditional wind. So she'll have a curl at the end of the hair, but the hair at the top will be a little bit straighter, and that way it will help her to keep a little bit of length. Or you could still use the reverse wind and just use your straighteners to straighten the hair a little bit at the root, so it gives a little bit of length back to the hair. So you can see we've got our two different curls, and the end result is very different. With the reverse wind with a twist, you get a lovely soft wave to the hair. And with the reverse wind It's more of a corkscrew looking curl. If you've enjoyed this tutorial, just click like and subscribe and join me on my next video.